We don't see the fact that we're one of the most isolated cities in the world as a problem. I think that makes us quite a unique state, and with that I think we should just be pushing the work of West Australian artists because the stories are so rich and so unique. The Perth Centre for Photography has been instrumental in the development and promotion of WA photographic artists from all skill levels and cultural backgrounds.
What I've always been struck by going to a PCP exhibition has actually been the diversity on the wall of images and photographers that capture great stories about Western Australia.
That's a really solid base for the organisation and means that it's got a kind of community sitting behind it. That community being able to profile the work that's going on here, support the work that's going on here and extend it, and then share those stories more broadly.
For me, as also a European-based curator, I'm reliant on these spaces to keep me well informed of what is actually happening in different parts of the world. We cannot continue showing work of London-centric, very European sort of voices. We really need to actually have a transversal, transnational dialogue.
I am part of the Perth Centre for Photography exposure. PCP has connected me with other artists like Raphael, whatever. Photography is important to me as part of a healing process. I use it for therapy for myself.
At PCP we seek to inform, educate and fortify the art practice of photomedia through exhibition, educational workshops, studio residencies and public programs.
In terms of PCP's program, it's radically diverse. It was kind of like a forum, to see artists, photographers who I totally wouldn't have seen in any other context. PCP's on our radar in terms of checking the veracity of someone's practice. So it very much helps us as collecting institutions, figuring out how texture, tone, contrast, all of that works kind of materially to kind of resonate and push out is really important because obviously, being in Perth, you're not getting the chance to see that sort of work as often as you would like.
Well, sometimes in WA, it feels like you're so isolated, you're not getting the shows that other parts of Australia on the East Coast like Sydney or Melbourne get. But the program of the PCP is very diverse and they're bringing in, significant international artists. I think it's really important to have a dedicated photography gallery, particularly for young emerging photographers, because it gives them a point of contact where potentially they can exhibit perhaps for the first time like I did. I exhibited the very first time at the PCP and it was a big break for me.
To show in a centre that has been around since 1992 as Perth's only dedicated photography gallery really allowed me to leverage the organisation's following, the people that support PCP then hear about me. I get to talk to them. Having a centre around where you can view images, where you can go to workshops and events to do with photography is always going to be pushing you to better your work.
Photography is a craft, and the workshops that PCP offer also, they help you develop your craft, not only your thinking and your narrative, but your crafts, and to be able to gain more information and new strategies and techniques. It really helps clarify and cement your thinking process. The residency at PCP has been invaluable in contributing to the ideas that I've been working with. As an artist, you can't ask for a better environment to create work in. The support team here are phenomenal. They are not only just hugely organised, professional, dedicated team, but they are artists themselves, so they really understand what goes into producing and presenting exhibitions.
In our next 5-year phase, PCP will leverage its existing and future global networks, aiming to develop a focused, consistent and ongoing approach to relationships with key partners to catalyse change in both our communities and more broadly in our field. As we expand exposure, our collaborative projects centred around the artistic and professional development of regional and remote Indigenous artists, There will be an ongoing emphasis on the representation and development of new WA photography. We will expand this focus to cater to established and mid-career artists who will be provided with the tools in which to experiment and expand their practice globally. International and national relationships will be strengthened through the development of a professional artist in residence program and a studio residency exchange program. We also look forward to a new international photography event destined to direct national attention and international attention and create a multitude of opportunities and experiences for WA practitioners, audiences and visitors to our state.
Yeah, without PCP there would be a vacuum.
If it wasn't here, I think that there would be a huge chasm in the output of creative practice from photo-based artists in Western Australia.
All I can say is that PCP has been incredibly important, not just to me personally, but to my practice.